Hello, everybody. Welcome to Football Uncensored. We are live with another show. We're back on the channel, of course, doing some Premier League stuff. Thank you so much for the kind support. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm just trying to figure out the audio thing here real quick. It all got reset. I don't know why the need of my stuff to get reset every time, but it is reset nonetheless. So, regardless, let me know if we're good, if we're sorted, if the audio is up to par with the needs of the people. My name is Chris, the American Mag, Newcastle United fan. As you can see on the background, a lot of Newcastle shirts. But regardless, I'm here to give you my honest opinion on all things Premier League. The big match, of course, of the week is going to be the North London Derby. Tottenham and Arsenal Football Club getting together for a good clash as well. We got other matches that we need to talk about. We got Newcastle Wolves. That's a good one. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of matches to talk about. And let me share my screen real quick, as we see right there on your screen. Of course, if you're in the UK, don't mind the let me see. Why can't I zoom in? That's not good. Don't mind the time, of course. This is where the matches are going to be showed in the United States of America, of course, USA Network, or in the Spanish, Universal, Peacock as well. In the UK, of course, some matches are not televised. Some will be live on Sky Sports. Definitely the match of the week, which is, again, the North London Derby, Spurs and Arsenal at home. That's definitely going to be televised as well, I believe, is Wolves Newcastle. So those are the Sunday games, but we're going to go step by step, ladies and gents. And actually, let me try to zoom in. There you go. So we shall, go match by match. And of course, we're also going to give you a perspective on what the managers have been saying, have been speaking of about the matches coming up for their particular team. So, so stay tuned, because we're going to bring you all the insights that the manager are talking about. That everybody's expecting from these matches. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's not waste any time. Shout out to the Queen of Heart in the chat, of course. Thank you, ma'am. Let's start with this one. Let's start with the one and only Southampton at home against Manchester United. And I want to know your predictions as well. Very important for me to know your takes on these matches. As we look at some of the stats as well. Southampton playing at home. Again, if you're in Europe, don't mind the kickoff time, because it's ridiculously early for US folks. But in the UK, well, that's probably going to be midday. Yeah, 12:30 in the afternoon, early afternoon in the UK. So good match. Those 12:30 games, a lot of controversy around those, because some people say that it's too early. But but there you go. As far as stats is concerned, by the way, we usually do this with the mighty win, but he's on vacation, of course, so we're not going to bother him too much on this particular with these particular topics at the moment. He was busy on doing a 2-hour show earlier on for NUFC Talk TV, so we're not gonna dwell too much on that, of course. But all right. Okay, so Manchester United, look at that. 48 games played with Southampton right here. I'm assuming this is all Premier League numbers. So the fact that they play 48 times, and Southampton, is a team that usually, is fighting for relegation. And the fact that they played each other 48 times is pretty interesting, to say the least. So look at that. And so there you go. So the total of 48 games, 7-1 by Southampton altogether, but 29 overwhelming by Manchester United, of course. So that's something to it's an overwhelming stat, but stats are meant to be broken. And this Southampton team has been doing somewhat well. They definitely did well against. Well, they played. The football was there when they played Newcastle United, but the result wasn't, of course. And they played with 11 men to 10. But you can say that it was a decent, football wise, not necessarily on the scoreboard, of course, and obviously. The actions of this fella Brereton Diaz weren't looked at with a good eye, at least. So as far as stats is concerned, you see it on your screen: 5 home wins, for Southampton, 16 home wins for Manchester United, 13 away wins for Manchester United as well, and only 2 from Southampton at Old Trafford. This game will be, as you see, at some Southampton. You see some of the results from previous matchups. Let's look at. I only like to go maybe 2 games at most. I don't like going many years behind because, like, what's happened in 2021 probably doesn't really matter. Even though, look at that, Manchester United beat them 5-0. That is an overwhelming result right there. But after that, only 1-1, a draw, another draw later on at Old Trafford, 1-1, and then Man U beat them 1-0 in 2022, and the last one was last year. They drew 0-0 as well. So it's interesting, and that was at Old Trafford at St. Mary's. Manchester United did beat them 1-0 the last time there. So we shall see what happens on this one. Let's listen to Eric Ten Hag as he spoke about. He spoke about the match, talking about Man United, of course. Cristiano Ronaldo has a very, very quickly successful YouTube channel, and all of a sudden he created one not too long ago, and it blew up, obviously. And he's been talking about Manchester United, and he said a few things about the club, and of course, Ten Hag was asked about these comments, and Ten Hag said this.
He said that Manchester United can't win the Premier League.
He said that you.
No, he said this. If you read the article very well, so he's far away from Saudi, or far away from Manchester. So everyone can is entitled to have an opinion. It's okay.
Are you confident then that the club are on the right track? Because obviously there's been a couple of difficult results in a row, difficult performances. There's pressure building all the time at this place. So are you confident things are going the right way?
We will see where we are in May next year. It's very early in the season, and it's about winning trophies, be as high as possible. Of course, in the league, do everything to win every game. And then we will see in May where we are, and then judge.
Right there, some of those comments saying, well, he's far away in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo, very, very controversial, his exit from Man U, and when Ten Hag was on board. So, basically was driven away by him. And he had that controversial interview with Piers Morgan as well. And it didn't go well. And obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo making some comments that they will never win the Premier League, and Ten Hag saying that he's far away, etc. So he basically has no say. But it is what it is. I'm not sure. Cristiano is going to talk. He's a voice that's going to be followed throughout the world as far as football is concerned. And of course, when it comes to Man United, certainly going to be followed there. So and he said those things. Well, it is what it is. You have to deal with it. I'm kind of creepy seeing myself behind the screen there, but interesting. Anyways, so by the way, as far as Southampton is concerned, the Southampton defender Jan Bernarek has signed a new 3-year contract. Let's take a listen to what Sky Sports had to report.
Been some from Southampton too in the last few minutes. You can see on the bottom of the screen they've announced the defender Jan Bednarek has signed a new 3-year contract.
And there you go. That's the information as far as that's concerned. Anyways, moving forward to the next match at hand, we got Brighton and Ipswich. Well, by the way, let me know what you think about Man United versus Southampton, or Southampton Man United. That's going to be a good one just to get your perspective when it comes to that where are your predictions for that match. So, but the next one is Brighton Ipswich. That's a good match as well. Brighton's been doing all right. Had a few things going for them in the past few matches. You can tell that Brighton is a better team though than Ipswich, and they're going to be battling probably close to relegation, to be fair. So, what do you think about this matchup coming up? As you can see right there, Ipswich is in the 17th spot, Brighton third. But again, the positions to me Ipswich position tells me more than Brighton. I don't think Brighton are going to fight for the league, let alone stay at third. But Ipswich might just end up 17th. I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Um, but yeah, I mean, you see right there, they've Ipswich has won 0 matches, Brighton 2. They both drew 1 game each. And as far as the head to head is concerned, let me look at it real quick so I can. There we go. Match stats. There should be something coming up here. Nothing. So as far as head to head, that is all the stats. I guess they've never played. Have they never played each other in the Premier League? That is interesting because everybody else is going to have a stat, and it looks like they might not. So very interesting. All right. Well, I thought that would have been they would have played at least, but it looks like for the most part, Ipswich have never played um, Brighton. From what I'm seeing, I mean, I'm sure they might have played at some point in their history, but in the Premier League, probably not. So interesting stat right there. As far as Brighton is concerned, Fabian, how do you say their manager's name? Who Hurzeler? Fabian Hurzeler is the Barclays Premier League Manager of the Month for August. The Premier League have confirmed an unbeaten start to his life as a new Brighton boss after wins against Man United, Everton, and a draw with Arsenal. So a good start for Brighton, and their manager is named the player of I mean the manager of the month. So Queen of Hearts says Brighton has this, no doubt. I like Brighton for this first time meeting. Yeah, I think Brighton is going to win it. I mean, they have everything going for them, and I think that's I think that for the most part that's going to be the way to go in this one. All right, so the next one is, let's talk about it. We got, let me see. The next one is Crystal Palace and Leicester City. Crystal Palace, Leicester City. Let me see if they've played each other before. Yes, they have. They certainly have played 22 games head to head in the Premier League. 9 wins for Crystal Palace. You got Leicester winning 8 times. 5 home wins for each. 4 wins away for Crystal Palace. 3 away for Leicester City. So I guess if you look at 5 home wins in the head-to-head for Crystal Palace and 3 away for Leicester, then that could tell you something. But Crystal Palace is I mean, it's going to be all right, I guess. Leicester, some people say that they're going to be fighting relegation, so that's kind of, I mean, it is. I don't know. I think they might find a way to stay afloat. They might find a way, in my opinion. But let me see. Let's see if I can find some. There we go. All right. So I don't know who you guys are going with in this matchup, but I think I'm going to go. I'm going to put a little faith. I'm going to put a little faith on Leicester. I think Leicester might get this one. Um, you know, just to play devil's advocate, which I'm very well at doing. But I think they might get this one. So I'm going to go for them. All right, then the next one that we got coming up is going to be Fulham and West Ham United. Fulham, West Ham United, interesting stuff. Um, I mean, actually, I need to have the Premier League pulled up here somewhere because let me look. Let me see the Premier League. What the Premier League has got as far as the table standings. And as far as the table standings, you got where's Crystal Palace? Crystal Palace is 16 in the league. And West Ham is 13. I mean, I knew it. I knew this was going to be a really close matchup. When it comes to the head-to-head stats, of course, you see it right there in front of your screen. 28 games for Fulham and West Ham, another London matchup, and 16 wins for West Ham United though overall in Premier League history. So that's I mean, it's kind of overwhelming, but it really doesn't have much to do in today's game or in the game this weekend. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I think West Ham might get it, but they are very similar in this league so far. Very similar in my understanding. So, but like I said, we always got the sound bites from the managers. And Julian Lopetegui had a few words of wisdom a few words to say about this matchup coming up.
Just on the team news, the players returning from internationals.
Okay, we are we are waiting for the last players because until this afternoon we are going to have all of them and trying to evaluate all of them how they are about fit. The first thing about another thing about the mind, because both they are very important. Because of course they are players that they travel a lot of hours in plane, and we have to evaluate all these things this afternoon and to know more better how they are.
It's a bit of a worry with West Ham fans about Nicholas Fulkrug. Do you think he might be okay? Not too bad.
Let's see what is going to happen. He has a little problem. Was a pity, but it's true that we evaluate him too today. Yesterday was a little bit better. Today we are going to see how he is exactly, and I think that tomorrow we are going to take the last decision about him.
There you go. So Fulkrug might make it. Good signing. I wish, as a Newcastle fan, I wish we would have signed him. Really, as a backup to Isak, but we shall see. A lot of people are not a fan of him. So like I said, we shall wait and see what happens with him. But let me go back in the next matchup. Let me see if I got something else about this match as far as sound bites is concerned. Nope, nothing at all, as you guys would say. So we're gonna go with the next one. Let me know what you think about it. By the way, actually, Daniela, West Ham fan, says this could that we West Ham really start our season. This could be the way, like a turnaround point, like a turning point for you guys. What do you think? I mean, you guys are 13 in the league, playing against Fulham 16. I think that, like I said, it could been a rocky start to say the least. But let me know what do you think about your team so far and the performance. It would be interesting to see your take on that. On what's going on with West Ham United, which did have a really good window, I might say, and but the start maybe wasn't the greatest. And again, it's just 3 games though. It's just 3 games. I guess if you really think about it, Newcastle United, people can say that we are very lucky that we got some points playing the way we did. But we got the points nonetheless. However, we're going to talk about that later on because it's a Sunday game. But it's going to be interesting if we keep playing that way. So let me know what you think about your season so far, Daniela, for West Ham United. Let me go with the next matchup right here, and it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Reds of Liverpool going against the other Reds of Nottingham. This matchup, of course. Let me go to the head-to-head. Of course, they played each other before 14 times. Liverpool have beat Forest. 7 total wins, 3 for Forest in Premier League history. 6 home wins, 3 wins for Forest, and just 1 away. 1 win away. Wow, look at that. Just 1 away win for Liverpool at City Ground against Forest. Forest never won at Anfield. So look at that. 4 draws. So interesting stuff. What do you guys think about this matchup as well? I mean, do you think that Liverpool might have this one at Anfield? Maybe so, to be honest. I mean, it might just be that Liverpool is going to take care of this one at home. It should be. As far as sound bites, well, let me get Daniela's thoughts on the West Ham game. It's early. We have only played 3 games, all top 10 teams in City. Not many are taking points of them. Yep, that is a good point. Let's take a listen to Arnie Slot as he's spoken about the game coming up.
2-1. Javi is, of course, a big disappointment for him, but not only for him, also for us, because he didn't play that much in the first 3 games, but he played a lot in preseason and he showed himself really well. So, of course, when he stayed fit, he would have had a lot of playing time in the upcoming fixtures, but now he isn't, and that also gives a chance to someone else. So it's first and foremost a blow for himself, and in the end also for us, because I think availability is important in the phase of the season where we play 7 games in 22 days, I think. So it's a blow for the both of us, but he will work as hard as always to come back in the best possible way. And then Federico has trained with the team now 3 or 4 times. So let's see how he does today and which decision I make, because we have more than 20 players. So if I choose for a position or if I choose the ones that are the fittest at the moment.
Good stuff from Marnie there. I think he had a few more things to say, though. He's talking about Ryan. Has no doubts that Ryan Gravenberch is going to, or Gravenberch is going to play. But let's take a listen to what he said.
And maybe he's playing a bit deeper is the English word, I think, a bit lower, deeper than he did before, but it's not that much of a difference. I think he, like the other ones who do really well, benefit from how the team is playing. And Ryan came back strong, like many others. And strong, I mean that he was really fit, played some good games and took his chance. But I think in general, like the others who score goals, and we are talking about the benefits also from the team structure.
Trust as well, though? Trust of you?
Yeah, if trust means that you play him, then I trust him. But I also trust the ones that I'm not playing. So I think it's always the most easy argument to give. Yeah, you give him trust. That's why he plays good. If it was that simple, I would have thrown my trust to every player. But we're going to go out to the training ground, hoping to prepare them in the best possible way. I believe more in this than in the word trust. But if he trusts his teammates, if he trusts the structure, then and the way we play, that will help, of course.
All right, that was Arnie talking about that, of course. Let me see. Why is it not? It's not working. All right. Interesting. Okay, so let me know what you think about that. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. The next one coming up, ladies and gentlemen, is this one: Manchester City and Brentford. This should be a walk in the park. This should be an easy hunting at the zoo, fishing in the barrel. If I'm allowed the analogy, I think Man City is going to have no problem beating Brentford. Now, listen, it might not happen, and then I'll be looking like an idiot. But I think it'll be easy for them. If you look at the head-to-head matchup, only 6 games between Man City and Brentford in Premier League history. 4 total wins for Man City, only 2 for Brentford. But in the previous meetings, let's take a look real quick. I only like to look at probably the last 3. I would just go 1 year or maybe 1 year and a half back. Not much, because I don't think if you go back too many years, it makes no sense, because not the same players, etc. I mean, for the most part. But Man City beat them 1-0 last time around at the Etihad, before 3-1 away, and they lost. Look at that, back in 23. 1-0 against Brentford. Look at that. Well, they did lose, these games, and they lost the one before that as well at Etihad. Interesting, man. Interesting. But these smaller teams do make it difficult for the big ones, of course, from time to time. And so it is what it is. Daniela says, and now the European football starts soon, that the team we competing form European might drop points, which means both West Ham and Newcastle can pick up some points. Yep, that is true. Queen of Hearts says should be a walk in the park. However, they may have other things next week on their minds, which equally are a worry. Yep, I think that's what Daniela might have been alluding to about this matchup in particular. Of course, let's take a listen to Sky Sports reporting some breaking news that the hearing over Manchester City's 115 charges will start Monday.
But we start the programme with that breaking news, and the hearing over Manchester City's 115 Premier League charges will begin next week on Monday. Now, it was reported in August that the hearing was brought forward to mid-September, and sources have told us that it will now start on September the 16th. So the hearing will be held in private before an independent commission. Could last as long as 2 months. We've been told before, could last 10 weeks. A decision is not expected until spring 2025. It's expected the hearing with the Independent Commission will go on for those 10 weeks, with both the Premier League and City expected to make lengthy legal representations outlining their case. The Independent Commission will then go away and consider all the evidence and consider their decision. So we expect the process to take several months because of the sheer volume of the charges. Remember, 115 of them levelled against Manchester City, and all of the amount of information connected to those charges that needs to be reviewed. The end of the process could be later next year, 2025, but it's hoped on all sides that the matter will finally be done inside a calendar year. So reminder, Manchester City have been charged with breaking financial fair play rules over a 9-year period going from 2009 up until 2018. It's really important to say Manchester City deny all the charges against them. Pep Guardiola has gone on record as saying innocent until proven guilty. It's also worth pointing out that during the period in question, 2009 to 2018, Manchester City have been crowned Premier League champions 3 times in that window. So the breaking news on Sky Sports News is that we believe that hearing will begin on Monday.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Interesting stuff. And, a lot of people say that it does affect other clubs, i.e. Newcastle United. So we shall wait and see really what happens as far as that's concerned. However, Pep Guardiola did have something to say about that.
I'm not a lawyer. There are many lawyers in this country, in Spain. There are many lawyers, but I wait. We're going to wait and we're going to see.
Is it talked about in the dressing room,
No.
you know?
I'm said we are not lawyers. Erling is not a lawyer, no. So we didn't talk about that. It's going to happen independent panel, and we're going to accept the sentence.
And what about everybody around the club, not just the players?
I don't talk about them. I don't talk about them about that. We see. So I'm happy that it started on Monday, and I know you will be more rumors and new specialists about the sentences that come up. We're going to see. So I know what the people are looking for. I know what they're expecting. I know it. What I read for many, many years, but I'm sad. So everybody's innocent, and guilt is proven. So we see.
All right, there you go. So you heard it from the man himself. Everybody is, that's what the way it should be. The law should work anyway. But when it comes to bantering and fans, they already ran with it, and rival fans have said that Manchester City's most fans, the Manchester City titles don't count, which I think is bollocks anyway, because they played, man. Were they benefited? Did they give them penalties? Did they score? I guess you could say there could be an unfairness because they were able to, buy players or keep players or not deal with, I don't know, there's a lot of financial, there's 115 charges to say the least. So, listen, at the end of the day, it would be a disgrace if they were taking their titles away of all of this stuff. But he also spoke about the game, of course, and one player in particular, Nathan Ake. Let's take a listen to Pep.
How he is after his
injury.
How severe is it?
I think it will be until next international break.
How much
Wow.
football is that to lose Nathan for that period?
We are unlucky with Nathan with the national team. Every time goes there, he's come back injured.
Never good. No. Can I ask you about Brentford, please, as well? Because they are the last team to win at the Etihad Stadium nearly 2 years ago. How have you been able to do that as a club?
I don't remember against Thomas Frank team, a person who I admire unbelievably. So I don't remember easy game against Brentford. Never ever. Since we were promoted in a Premier League, and I don't remember.
There you go. Nathan Ake is going to be out for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that is interesting about Pep Guardiola and the way he, he's had these weird things, like cutting off the internet when in the training ground, like 30 minutes before the team is supposed to start for training. And this one here, well, not necessarily weird because not a lot of people are on a WhatsApp. I think Mighty Mag is, I don't think he was on WhatsApp before, and then he met us and he had to upgrade, I guess you could say. Well, Pep Guardiola is part of the Man City players WhatsApp group. Let's take a listen.
Any players WhatsApp groups or group
No,
chats?
I don't have WhatsApp.
You don't have it?
No.
Why not?
Why?
Just don't want to be bothered.
Well, I don't like mails. I don't like WhatsApps, this kind of stuff. So I have just one phone, no TikToks, no Twitters, no Instagram, nothing. Just my phone and message. That's all.
So you don't waste your time scrolling on TikTok and Instagram like the rest of us?
No.
Maybe that's why you're so successful, Pep. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
no,
part
but
of
when
the
I
secret.
went to my daughters and they allowed me to do it. So
So
Interesting stuff. By the way, Man City, Erling Haaland is the EA Sports Player of the Month for August. The Premier League have now confirmed 7 goals in 3 games, an unbelievable start for the Viking. Yeah, really good start, of course, for Erling Haaland. All right, the next matchup that we got lined up is going to be this one, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty Max says, I'm definitely not on TikTok. Mighty Win on here is enough. There you go. Good one, bro. It is going to be Aston Villa versus Everton. Aston Villa versus Everton. I think Aston Villa is gonna get this one, of course. I'm sure there's a lot of head-to-head games on this one. 58 games they have played each other with each other in the Premier League. Incredible. 25 wins for Aston Villa, 13 only for Everton. That just shows that Aston Villa has been in a good shape as far as Premier League history is concerned against Everton. But you know, interesting. Well, let's look at the previous meetings. A draw at the last game at Goodison Park. A 4-0 defeat for Everton and a victory for Aston Villa. 4-0, interesting. And also Aston Villa won 2-0 away at Goodison Park. At the Villa Park, though, they're playing at the Villa Park, and the last time around, Villa beat them 4-0. So, good stuff. I do have something for Everton. Yes, I do. Always try to dig and see what's happening. Let's take a listen to the Sky News Sports News reporting that Everton issued a statement in response to comments made by John Textor in relation to his potential takeover of the club. Let's take a listen.
Does regarding John Textor's interview, his exclusive interview with Sky Sports News yesterday. He spoke in some detail about the club and his prospective purchase. Worth heading over to our website if you haven't seen anything of that interview. But this is the response from Everton. They said the club is aware of the comments made by John Textor in relation to a potential purchase of the club. While positive conversations and progress continues to be made with Mr. Textor to formalise any deal with him, there remains some work to be done to complete the transaction. They go on to say, accordingly, the comments made by Mr. Textor merely represent his personal view on club matters. Everyone at the club is staying focused on providing the best support possible to Sean and the squad as we head into this weekend's fixture. The club will provide updates in respect of new investment when there is material news to communicate to supporters and other stakeholders, and this will be done through official club channels.
All right. Those, if you're interested in that, that's what's happening with Everton as they're looking to get new ownership. Next match coming up, got to move fast. Chelsea and Bournemouth. Chelsea, Bournemouth at home. Interesting matchup, of course. I think Chelsea might get this one away. 14 times they play together in the Premier League. 8 wins for Chelsea and 4 for Bournemouth. And let me see the few times around, the last times around. Chelsea won 2-1, a draw. 3-1 to Chelsea. So, it might be interesting. But I think Chelsea might get this one away. Although Bournemouth, very dangerous. We know, we've seen them. We have had a taste of that already this season. As far as Chelsea news, breaking, Nicholas Jackson commits of his future to the Blues until 2023. Also, Sky Sports reports, breaking news, Cole Palmer wins the Guinness Goal of the Month for August. And for his beautifully placed dip over Wolves keeper. So Cole Palmer making his name for himself already in this Premier League. Well, since last season, to be honest, he had a really good performance. We did have Enzo Maresca's takes on this though, but I'm not seeing it, which is weird. But I'm pretty sure that we did. Let me look for it. Oh, there we go. We do got Enzo Maresca's takes. Let's take a listen to what Enzo.
Also with you, we just started 2 months ago, so we need to know a little bit each other. But I try always to be as honest possible. And if I spend my energy about something different, I think it's don't worth it. So my focus is just about tomorrow game, to be honest. And in the last week, I try to do exactly the same. Focus in the way we want to prepare the game in the best way. So Then the other things, they are things that I cannot control.
So you haven't spoken to either of them at all about it?
No, I spoke with Todd, I think, when we play City, probably that more or less. And I spoke with Vedad days ago. So I'm speaking with both. There is not any problem at all. And as I said, my focus is just about the pitch because it's the only thing I can control. I said many.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Of course, they're asking about Clear Lake versus Todd Bowley, and Boyley trying to buy the club in its totality, and of course, Clear Lake not willing to sell their shares about that. Of course. All right, let's go to the next one, and one of the big ones, of course, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be the North London Derby. Early in the morning, 8 a.m. in the United States Central Time. However, that's probably going to be 2 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Yeah, it is going to be 2 p.m. So good stuff. And, this is the match of the week, ladies and gentlemen. So, stay tuned for this one. I thought for some reason, why did I think that this should be the last game of the week, isn't it? I don't know why I had Newcastle playing Wolves first, which makes no sense because you would assume that the derby is going to take over, going to be the last one, kind of the last act. No, it isn't. Wolves Newcastle will be the last game of the weekend. Which, all right, well, that makes sense. But let's take a listen to Mikel Arteta as he provides an injury update on the one and only, and he's going to be missed heavily. Martin Odegaard.
We talked about lucky 13 there in terms of you've got a new deal, but unlucky 13, I guess, in terms of the news this week regarding Martin. What can you tell us about his injury?
We need some more tests, so let's see what happens in the next day or so, this afternoon probably, and see what happens, what is the extent of the injury, and how quickly we can get him back. He's super positive about everything. We know Martin, he wants to be there every single day, but we have to wait and see.
I know there's probably swelling, so it's impossible for you to give a proper prognosis, but having seen him, I'm sure you have seen him, is he hopeful that it might not be as bad as potentially you first thought?
I leave that to the doctor, but his will, there's no question about that. He wants to be present in every game, and obviously a big game like this one, but we need to make sure that we know, first of all, how good he can be or not.
All right. As far as news is concerned, we'll take a look at real quick what Arsenal could be missing ahead of Sunday's North London Derby without Martin Odegaard. He is third in assist, ranking since August 23, third in assist with Odegaard there, second in shots with 102, first in chances created, first in passes into the box, and first with possession won in the final third. A really good and important player, to be honest. So I don't think there's any question that Odegaard will be missed. But it is what it is. I think he took his ankle. Something happened there. However, another breaking news that I'm sure Arsenal fans have been reporting is that Mikel Arteta has been given an extension for the club. A lot of criticism for that because they haven't won anything. And some fans also do believe that he is the right answer. So let's take a listen to his comments. He also said he feels loved. Let's listen.
I feel very lucky because I feel loved. I feel respected, but I feel loved. I feel a really special connection between us. And I think the players do feel the same thing. And when that goes beyond just your work or what you're trying to deliver, that becomes really, really powerful. And I think that's a really strong point that we have at the club.
On the supporters as well, you must be so proud of the connection that has been created with them during your time as manager.
They have given a lot in very difficult moment, and I think that's what has made it unique, because when everything goes well, it's easy to jump on the boat, but when times were more difficult and we have to get there and we needed them so much, I think emotionally they have transformed the club.
Finally, if we could fast forward 5 years into the future, what will you have wanted to have achieved?
I would say a lot of major trophies. I feel very lucky because.
All right, of course, winning major trophies is a big deal, and that's what fans want. Also, news for Arsenal: David Raya wins the Premier League save of the month for August. The Gunners keep in his lightning quick reactions, denied Villa a forward, Ollie Watkins, a point blank range and secured a clean sheet. So August save of the month goes to Raya. On the other side, of course, they play Tottenham, and we have a few words from the man himself, the mate of the Premier League, Ange Postecoglou. Let's take a listen to his take on the game.
So I guess internationals all came back okay. Biss is the only one that's obviously got an issue. It's not serious, but he's getting treatment today. We'll see if he can train tomorrow and make a decision there. Out of the other guys, Mickey van der Ven's all good. He's trained pretty fully through the international break, and Dom, back half of this week, sort of joined with the first team, trained today. So again, we've got training tomorrow. If they get through all right, I guess we'll be available. Richie, Will Lancashire are the only two that other two that are in rehab.
You addressed it earlier in the summer, but Rodrigo Bentancur has now been charged by.
So I guess.
All right. There you go. We're going to get into other news, of course, for Spurs, because Rodrigo Bentancur. But let's take a listen to what their player, James Maddison, says about the matchup. Says he's hungry to get a good result in North London derby. Let's take a listen.
We obviously had a bit of a disappointing result in the derby at home last year. So we're looking to put right a few wrongs there. And we know what it means to our supporters, which is the main thing, I think. When I joined the club, I got the feeling straight away of what it means. And this is such a big game for our fans. And ultimately, that's what we do it for. And that's what we want successful for our supporters. So really looking forward to it. Hungry to get a good result. And bring it on. We obviously had a bit of a disappointing result.
All right, those were the comments by James Maddison. And on the last thing that Postecoglou was going to talk about, it is this, obviously, breaking news that Tottenham midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur has been charged with alleged breach of FA Rule E3 for misconduct in relation to a media interview. Let's take a listen.
Breaking news for you now. Tottenham midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur has been charged with an alleged breach of FA Rule E3. That's for misconduct in relation to a media interview.
Yeah, it has been alleged that he acted in an improper manner and or used abusive and or insulting words and or brought the game into disrepute.
We're going to bring you more information to confirm what the charge refers to when we get it. We haven't had such clarification yet. He has until the 19th of September to respond to the charge.
There you go. All right, last match of the weekend is going to be the one and only for me and for a lot of us in the chat, Newcastle United versus Wolves, or Wolves versus Newcastle United. The last match of the weekend. And obviously, if you're a fan of Newcastle, subscribe to NUFC Talk TV, because we do in-depth analysis of Newcastle United, and we certainly did a preview there. Obviously, I'm thinking Newcastle will win 2-1, but it's not going to be an easy game for the Magpies. However, we do have a soundbite from the man himself, Eddie Howe.
That were away on international duty come back, and are they all okay and fit?
Yeah, we hope so. I think there's a few more checks to make today, but I think everyone, as far as we know, has come back and is in decent shape.
Quite a few of your players had a lot of football for their countries, and the rest of the squad were here training with you. And I think after the Spurs match before the break, you said that some weren't at optimum level of fitness. Do you feel you've made good progress in that regard over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I feel we have. I think it's been productive for us. We gave them a period of rest, and then we started our work towards Wolves. Some good training. I've been really pleased. We had very low numbers initially. I think we had, say, 7 players. That was boosted to around 9 midway through. And then, gradually through the week, we've built our numbers up with the players returning.
Can you tell us how the new head of performance, James Bunce, is working with you in that regard when it comes to fitness levels, training, and the load that the players have?
Yeah, James is working really well, I have to say. I think he's been hugely impressive since he's come in. He's very passionate, hardworking, involved from the very start of the planning phase of training to the execution. Gives us really detailed analysis afterwards as well. So I think he's been a great addition to the team. Been very positive.
All right. Those are the words of Eddie Howe ahead of the Wolves matchup Of course, if you want to follow more about Newcastle United, don't forget to subscribe to NFC Talk TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't waste any more time. We shall be live for Friday Neat, and we're got into the tune on NFC Talk TV. So subscribe to that one, of course. We're going to be live right now at 9:30, and it's going to be a good one, listening to music, interacting, bantering, drinking some beer, smoking a tab for some of us. Well, I won't be because new office Betsy will kill me, but some of you may, and it's all good. We're gonna have fun tonight. It's Friday Neat, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, thank you so much for your support, and we shall see you on the next one, folks. Thank you so much for joining in. Didn't even get a notification for this. Says Helsuzar. Now it's finished. Yeah, man. But I'll see you on NFC Talk TV. Hit the like button right now, and we'll see you on that show.